All right, I think we're live.
We are live. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight for Trivia Night with Guide to Movies and the Chumps. This is the DC Films Trivia Night. Haven't had many DC films recently. Nothing big coming out. Nothing that we are going to focus on this evening, but just kidding. We're very excited to have you all, and we are joined by...
I'm Mark from the Chumpcast.
I'm the other guy. I'm Smithers. Hi.
Smithers is the new guy. He's not very liked on the podcast, but
I don't add much.
Not too much.
But he does have a great background. So what we would like everyone to do is go to theguidetomovies.com/trivia-night website so that you can pull up the forms for tonight's quizzo. We are going to have 4 rounds as always, and we will walk you through that in just a few minutes, but we want to give people enough time to get in here, have some fun chatting, and please, in the comments, if you are available now, if you're still paying attention, please let us know what your favorite DC movie is, and hopefully that will be represented in the questions this evening.
If this is your first time playing trivia with us on Thursday nights, make sure that you click that form submission link that we posted in the chat and you go to round 1. Make sure you're in the round 1 submission form, and don't change your team name when we get to like round 2, round 3. Make sure you keep your team name consistent where you enter your team name, because that will just confuse the shit out of us if you put a different team name.
So I see if there is a problem with the link. Darren, check it again. You should be good now.
Sometimes you got to refresh it.
Yeah.
I think we probably kill a couple minutes while we wait for more people to join on. So I'm curious.
We posted the link in our Discord. Hopefully some people join.
Outside of the Nolan trilogy, what's your favorite DC movie?
Did you say outside of the Nolan trilogy?
Yeah, because I know that's Mark's going to take the coward's way out and say one of those, but like those are so clearly the best that DC has ever done that I feel like it's that and then everything else, and you have to pick from everything else.
Not to Joe. Joe's BVS and Snyder cut.
I'm not totally like sold on them 100%, but I do honestly love Batman versus Superman. I was one of the people that was a little obsessed isn't the right word, but I was very happy about Batman versus Superman. The story is, I remember going to see it with a friend of mine, or 2 friends of mine, and we walked out and I was like so pumped. I was like, I actually really enjoyed that. Was it rushed? Totally rushed. Like, that's a whole nother conversation. And they were like, God, that was god awful. That was the fucking worst. And I was so deflated. But if you watch the ultimate cut or the ultimate edition, whatever they call it, of Batman versus Superman, it kind of gives it the same treatment as the Snyder cut does, in the way that it's like what was intended originally before they had to cut anything out. Granted, it's a completely different movie with Snyder cut and the Joss Whedon cut, but I absolutely loved it.
Mine's still Constantine, and I am so mad that more people haven't seen that movie. It's excellent.
I think he's coming back.
I don't think so. I think that I wish... something about it, just like Keanu would do it. I just don't think that DC wants to do it. They've done so many of these weird Justice League Dark like spin-offs, whether it's a cartoon, they're still playing in the TV show in which apparently they'll bring the TV Constantine. So I just don't see it happening.
But you're about to have the Zatanna movie with Emerald Fennell and all that. And Zatanna was a love interest of Constantine and vice versa. So I'm wondering if they're going to backdoor Keanu Reeves in, because he is a big draw for them. So
yeah. Plus I feel like there's like an underground movement to get him to come back and play John Constantine. It was
right.
Such a good movie. Bring back Shia LaBeouf too.
Nope.
Well, they just casted one of my favorite DC characters, Pierce Brosnan, as Dr. Fate. He's like top 5 for me, which is kind of weird.
Dr. Fate or Pierce Brosnan?
No, not Pierce Brosnan. Dr. Fate as a DC character. Pierce Brosnan's like top 10 all-time actors.
Oh, Jesus.
Please.
It's a weird casting, though. When I heard that news, I was like, what?
It's so weird. But when I posted the story in our Discord, the facial hair that he had was like perfect. He had the weird, like, devil pointy goatee with the extendo mustache and stuff. It's kind of a good look if that was what they were to choose to roll with.
Yeah, I think it could work. I don't know. I think we might be surprised, and it might work, but we'll see.
I think it's a little weird because the rest of the cast is so young, and I guess Dr. Fate is supposed to be a little bit older in that sense, but
yeah,
I don't know. He's ever since his singing shit in what's it called, Mamma Mia. I'm like, we'll see how this goes.
That's
he's branching out a little too much.
Yeah, I would have to go either Watchmen or Batman 89. But if we're talking like recent movies, that's tough.
I will tell you that putting together some of the quotes for today's trivia, I was reminded of some of the films that I actually really enjoyed from DC. Just because some of the lines are really good. Like, their writing is not often terrible, but the films are often not great.
Yeah, they're just a clusterfuck of ideas usually.
How many times has Joe seen Zack Snyder's Justice League by now? 8.
Holy shit, dude. It's too many. It's too many.
Listen,
that's
you spend
a day. That's
what?
A day and a half.
I literally watch those movies, and it's $14.99 a month. Mark buys $3,000 statues, and we should be okay with that, right?
I'm talking about time commitment here. I don't care about the money.
I do it while I'm working. I put it on like my computer and shit.
Did you watch it at half speed? So that 4-hour movie was actually 8 hours?
Why would I do that?
Because then you know your workday's over. You put in your 8 hours.
Yeah.
No, I just watched it twice.
Oh, God. All right.
And now I can watch the regular one and then the Justice is Gray. Anyway.
All right. Looks like we had some people join. People in the chat, people looking to play. Thank you for joining. We're going to get started here soon with the rules and the giveaway prize.
How many people do we have in right now?
I'm showing Twitch and YouTube 12.
Good.
I doubt that's 12 teams. Maybe that's just some people that are going to watch, which we usually get. But in the chat, if you want to tell us your team name so we can get kind of gauge how many teams we got going, that'd be great. Watchmen actually keeps getting better from each time.
So watch it.
I still don't know that I include that. I know that they worked it in with the button and all that. It just doesn't track for me. Especially
now that I think about it, Snyder wise, I did like Man of Steel. I did like that movie when it came
was
out.
good. It just wasn't. It's so hard to do a Superman movie and have it be actually good. Superman is just such a boner.
Do you know, though, I think one of the biggest things with the Zack Snyder approach to these movies, especially with Man of Steel, it was very different than people expected. Obviously, like, Superman Returns was very weird, and that was a total departure from a lot of different things in some ways, but again, not when you have Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor before his scandals and all that stuff. But I think that was such a weird introduction, especially at the end of Man of Steel, with how, he kills Zod and all that shit. People didn't know how to take that because it was a different approach to telling the story. And that's the problem with a lot of DC. Even Marvel, to an extent, has this. People rely on the comic stories and say, like, that's not how it was told. And you're not given that leeway to tell a different story, right? A different iteration of it. But
and you're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't, because if you follow the story exactly, people will be like, well, I already know this story.
Yeah, I know the story.
Yeah. Comic books. And if you don't follow the story, people are like, well, that's not how it was in comic books. So how about you all just sit down and enjoy something?
I feel like that's a message to you, Smithers.
I enjoy lots of things. I enjoy Fast and Furious movies, Mr. Movie Snob.
Have not seen any of them.
Can't wait for
that. Yeah, and you're a horrible person for that.
I'm a horrible person for a lot of it.
Next trivia. That should be the trivia when Joe's out for a week. We should just do Fast.
He needs to put together all the trivia for Fast and Furious. You got to do
what would change? No, I'm kidding. Anyway, all right. Should we get going?
Let's do it. Yep.
So the rules of the game tonight, we're going to have 4 rounds, but each round is going to have a different form for you to fill out. So please go to guidetomovies.com/trivia dash, oh God, I forget the entire link right now, trivia dash night. And you'll find the links for each of the rounds. You're going to submit 1 form per team and 1 form per round. We'll continue to put that in the info tonight. So if you are joining us later, well, obviously you wouldn't know that if you're here now. You can play solo, or you may form teams. There's ultimately no limit to the number of individuals that can be on a team, but we will only give 1 set of prizes, and you guys can divvy them up as much as you want. We'll talk about the prize in a minute. Absolutely no cheating will be permitted, including searching the internet through Google or however you go about that. If we kind of get wind that you're doing that, we will chat with you on the side and try to figure that out. Obviously, it's hard for us to figure that out, but we will try to make sure that you don't come back for a future trivia, because that ruins the game for everyone. There'll be 20 seconds between questions in each round. Questions will be repeated once. Each question is going to be worth 1 point unless you're told otherwise. And following each round, you're going to have 30 seconds to submit the answer form. Again, we'll make that available after each round. You can find it in the chat right now. Scores will be updated after each round. We'll let you know what the standings are. The team with the most points at the end wins. And in the case of a tie, there will be a tiebreaker question. Last week's winner will not be eligible to win this week. Last round's winner, I should say. And we will score them separately so they can still have a little bit of fun. All right. Tonight's prize is the DC Comics Encyclopedia. So if you don't know enough, I mean, if you win tonight, you probably know a good amount about DC, but this is a great grab that both Mark and I own. It's a lot of fun to figure out, more of the background of characters that we don't necessarily see in movies, and kind of hypothesize where we'll go in the future.
It's a nice book. I'm pretty sure this is the hardcover one. I think it comes in a slipcase. I could be wrong, but
it does.
It's actually a nice looking book.
I have it back here somewhere.
Yeah. Good
All
art.
right.
Little update on DC news since we're all here. James Gunn tweeted out a few hours ago they're in a trailer for Suicide Squad tomorrow. What?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for that.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
I think he's going to tackle those characters very well.
He knows what he's doing.
He does. He takes odd characters and does well with them.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun movie.
So first round is general knowledge. Let us real quick tell you we have 1 round or 2 rounds of general knowledge, 1 round of quotes, 1 round of pictures. We'll start with general knowledge and we'll get going when we're ready.
Make sure you're in that round 1 in the submission form website.
Make sure in round 1, put in.
That's a dope picture of the Justice League. I think that's Jim Lee.
It's Jim Lee. They showed that during what was it called, Fandom or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice. Except they don't have Aquaman with the beard and half an arm.
How do we ban someone from the chat? How do we ban Frank?
Don't ban Frank. He's new, so he's a good number for us.
You don't like the Fast movies? Come on.
They're just they're masterpieces. I can't even.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, ready to go?
Let's do it.
Question 1.
Where did Victor Stone go to college prior to the events of Zack Snyder's Justice League? I feel like you can only reference Cyborg in Snyder's cut because he was barely in the original. They did him dirty. Question number 2. What was Harley Quinn's profession before she turned to a life of villainy? Joe, have you seen the new Harley Quinn cartoon?
Saw a couple episodes of the first season, but I need to catch up. I love it.
It's pretty great.
Good. Question number 3. What 2 DC movies has actor Mark Strong appeared in?
This surprised me because I forgot about one of them.
Mark Strong's great. Question number 4. This is a true or false. Character of Rachel Dawes in the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy is not a character that is present in the DC comics. True or false?
Giving you the answer right now. Just pick up on my signs.
Question number 5. Which former Bond played the lead in 2003's The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, a truly awful movie?
I forgot about that movie.
I remember loving it as like a, I don't know, 16-year-old. And when I revisited it, I hated it.
There you go. All right. There are 2 stores that are destroyed in Man of Steel. Name them for me.
2 well-known stores.
Real world stores.
Didn't they shoot that movie in like Normal, Illinois or something?
Part of it.
Interesting. Question number 7. In Aquaman, they drop the name of the first ruler of Atlantis. What was his name? Question number 8. In BVS, what did the jar on Senator Finch's desk have written on it?
What is this picture in the background?
You're not in the same universe.
It's such a knockoff
Man.
picture.
It's a little squeezed.
It's very weird. All right. Question number 9. In the upcoming Black Adam film, who is going to play Atom Smasher? It's a movie I feel like we've been talking about for a decade.
Absolutely.
And we're still not getting it for at least 2 more years.
Yeah, ever since Boss Logic dropped that promo picture.
All right, final question of round number 1. Which DCEU actress first stepped into the DC arena in the old CW show Smallville?
My favorite show growing up. I
Really?
was so hooked on this show.
Did you ever get sick of the intro song?
No, I love the intro song.
I don't think anybody ever got sick of it. All right, if you missed a question, here they are. Please make sure you're hurrying up and filling these out. We'll give you just a minute here. Smallville, really? I don't think I know anybody else who liked that show.
There's a lot of people, number one. But get past the...
I'm not saying they don't exist. I don't know anyone personally who liked it.
Get past the first 2 seasons where they do like a freak of the week every week. And then they actually start getting into like a good story in the 3rd season. And it really takes off. Although Tom Welling was like 42 when he was playing Teenage Clark Kent.
I mean, that's just... shoot for a year that show started coming out. Like, that was just what they did back then. Like,
also WB and CW did that all the time.
Yeah. They still do that.
And UPN back in the day, if you remember.
Yep. UPN Power 50.
Beetleborgs wasn't that on UPN?
Maybe. All right, Joe, you're going to add up these scores?
I will. Only 3 are in right now, so please keep submitting.
Hopefully we don't just have 3 teams. This will be an easy week for somebody. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll come down to the wire. Who knows?
Mark, this seems like a question tailored for you.
Oh, I didn't even look at this. What
DC character do you want to see in a live action movie that we've never... I guess it doesn't have to be a movie. Live action setting that we have not yet seen. I thought it was interesting that they were choosing to do Zatanna. Just because... Not that... Like, there's nothing wrong with Zatanna, but she's like the 4th or 5th most popular magician in DC lore, right?
Yeah, this one's kind of tough. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking like Batman villains.
Kite Man.
Like, you could do a really super dark horror type movie with Professor Pig. Or
yeah, I could see that.
You do something with like Mad Hatter. I would like to see one of those one-off villains, you know, that's not really that well known within the Batman universe.
Get some good submissions in the chat. Clayface would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Detective Chimp and Slam Bradley.
Booster Gold wouldn't be bad either.
Well, they're doing Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. I would like to see Plastic Man at some point. I still think Jim Carrey is the most perfect casting for that ever.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, Mask was just basically like a Plastic Man movie.
What was?
The Mask.
Oh, yeah. Detective Chimp. That'd be pretty hilarious.
I bet we'll get a hit monkey appearance in a Deadpool movie soon.
Probably. Let's see.
Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to talk about Marvel while we're here.
You're banned for life.
You wish. I got the logins, bitch.
Joe, do we have more than 3 teams playing? 4. I might jump in and just play.
You'll lose.
Yeah. I'll still lose with the answer.
Modern Mad Hatter would be an incel obsessed with a girl. That is, I think him and the Riddler both probably.
Modern Mad Hatter. I guess how else would you do Mad Hatter? Would you go back to like, when did Alice in Wonderland come out? Just somebody obsessed with that movie.
The 60s, right? Because everybody was doing LSD.
Well, like which one? The oldest Alice in Wonderland, or
yes, not the Johnny Depp one.
Right, that one was a little trippy. All right, here we go. Let's talk through answers. Where did Victor Stone go to college prior to the events of Zack Snyder's Justice League? Gotham City University. What was Harley Quinn's profession? Psychiatrist. What 2 DC movies was Mark Strong in? Green Lantern and Shazam. True or false, the character of Rachel Dawes in Christopher Nolan's Batman movies is not a character present in the comics. That is true. Mark, who played both editions of Rachel Dawes?
The actress?
Yeah, both of them. There's 2 of them.
Gyllenhaal, and who is the one in Begins? I forgot her name.
It's Katie Holmes.
Holmes. Okay.
She was let out by Mr. Mission Impossible himself.
Didn't she like quit because she just didn't believe in Nolan wanting to do a trilogy? She's like, no, I'm not doing another one of these.
Superheroes were against Scientology. Which former Bond played the lead in 2003's A League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? That was Sean Connery. What 2 well-known stores are destroyed in Man of Steel? Admittedly, I'm accepting a third here because I forgot about this one. Sears and 7-Eleven, as well as IHOP. IHOP was also included.
Sounds like Illinois.
Yeah, right. In Aquaman, what was the name of Atlantis' first ruler? That was Atlan. In Batman vs. Superman, what did the jar on Senator Finch's desk have written on it? Granny's peach tea. Who will play Atom Smasher? That's Mr. Netflix himself, Noah Centineo, or whatever his name is. Which DCEU actress first stepped into the DC arena in the old CW show Smallville? Amy Adams, Lois Lane in the Snyderverse. So after one round, we have 4 teams playing. In third place, tied for third place, is Ocean Master P, as well as Brad Tasek with 4 points. In second place, Dogs Chasing Cars with 7 points. And in first place, Raz Al Ghul's with 10 points. Perfect score.
Excuse me, it's pronounced Raish Al Ghul?
Raish, you nerd.
Okay, hate you both, but here we go.
All right. I was thinking about how to do these quotes, and I think the most fair way I can do it is just with my shitty Heath Ledger Joker impression and my shitty Kevin Conroy Batman impression. So I'm just going to alternate between those 2.
Not for all of them.
No,
Yeah.
dude. You got
then I'll start giving it away if I start changing up my voice.
All right.
Whatever you want to do.
All right, let's
here we
try.
go.
Isn't it fun? It's just like a sleepover. We should order pizza. Make Cosmos.
You know, I can actually see the Joker saying that.
Yeah.
And maybe he did say it.
There's a possibility.
Wait, let's pause for a second and just say we're looking for the movie that these are from, right?
The movie, correct?
The movie. We're looking for the movie that these are from. We talked about give us the person that said it as well as the movie. We're looking for the movie.
Good
Luke
call.
asked in the chat. Yep, it's the movie, Luke. Now I know that only one love can truly save the world. So I stay, I fight, and I give for the world I know can be. Now I know that I'm done. All right.
I'm so torn about this.
Mark, this is a new one.
Oh, shit. No matter how bad things get, something good is out there just over the horizon.
Is this how you read Nolan, his like nighttime stories or whatever?
That's why he goes to bed so early. He's like, all right, you don't have to read to me. I'm just going to go right to bed. I'm like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught one. I just do things. Guess that one. It's a tough one. This city is afraid of me, for I have seen its true face. For I have seen its true face. Remember, it's the movie, guys. It's the movie, not the character. You will make my strength your own and see my life through your eyes, as your life will be seen through mine. The son becomes the father, and the father the son. Some men aren't looking for something logical. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
This is actually one of my favorite quotes from DC movies.
I was just going to say it sounds like something a girl would be tattooed on her lower back.
Some men aren't looking for something logical. And the world changed when Superman flew across the sky. And then it changed again when he didn't. And that is why I'm here. That is why I'm here. If you become more than a man, devote yourself to an ideal, then you become something else entirely. That was the Joker, guys, obviously. I could not be a voice actor. I need a drink of water like every fucking second. She begged me with her last breath that when I killed you, and make no mistake, I will fucking kill you. I do it slow, and I'm gonna honor that promise. Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. There they are again. If you missed one.
You'd be okay, Mark? You need a hot toddy, some tea and honey?
I think I might. God. Shit. And Brick, what? Brick did these slides? DC Comics, Brick? No, we're talking DC Films here. All right.
All right, Mr. Type A.
30 seconds. We got a question for this? Or
There's music in the background.
Once the timer goes out.
all right.
Hearing some like Broadway music. Maybe I hit my head or something.
It's your Spotify. Who is the best Batman?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. I think this is tough because you can bucket Batman into a couple categories. If we're talking voice depiction, it's Kevin Conroy. If we're talking fighting, might be Ben Affleck. If we actually had more scenes, like that last scene in BVS was badass, where he like smashes that guy's face off the crate. If we're talking Bruce Wayne Batman, I think we're talking Bale. We got to give it to him.
Yeah, but Conroy had the range. He did all of them.
Yeah.
His voice completely changes from Bruce Wayne to Batman.
Yeah.
And he's not just grunting. He's actually speaking like a human being.
Who's got the second best Batman voice? Are you going to give it to Christian Bale?
Seth Rogen and Zac Efron from Neighbors. Remember that? Where they're like, "What's your Batman voice?"
I was going to say Danny Pudi and Donald Glover in Community when they do the same thing.
Oh. Robert Pattinson. Wow. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I didn't hate him when that casting was announced. I instantly thought back to when Heath Ledger was casted as the Joker and the backlash we got with that. And then when he just beats the shit out of those henchmen in the trailer, I was like, yes, there we go.
Yeah, but I was really worried when Pattinson started talking about how Batman doesn't need to be
jacked. Yeah.
Batman needs to be jacked. He's still a superhero. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was just him being lazy. Like, I don't want to go to the gym every day.
I still think he's going to put on weight. I don't know. I think that was him just trying to cater to like Hollywood and, you know, I don't know. We'll see.
It just made me angry. I don't know. It's the dumbest, most meathead thing on the planet. I fully understand that. The audacity. You think
not be a jacked Batman.
To think that like you're climbing around on rooftops and shit and you're not at least in shape.
Yeah, you have to be. You have to have core strength. Some solid quads and hamstrings. And shoulder strength to climb up on a grapple.
That's why Dick Grayson was a great Robin.
Yeah.
You know, that core strength from being in the trapeze.
Val Kilmer had a bat thong.
Dude, Val Kilmer was kind of slept on. Although, if you've seen him in anything lately, is he okay?
What does he look like? Just like he hasn't slept in a week?
Like he hasn't slept in about 20 years.
Really? Hold on, I'm going to look up a picture of him. Good old Val boy. Wow. Yeah. His mouth area is just kind of weird. That's the only reason why I didn't really prefer him as Batman, because that's all you really get when he's in costume is the mouth area.
Yeah, but I mean, Bale accentuated that. Like he shook his lips out.
Yeah. Bale does have a weird mouth area too.
Since we're on the topic of the best Batmans and weird Batman mouths, if you've never seen the YouTube videos of Bat Metal, they are amazing and so well. It's the guys who animated Deathlock. Whatever. They did a bunch of cartoons and stuff, and they animate this. It's gorgeous and it's super funny, and actually, like if you're into metal, not a bad song. It gets stuck in my head every now and then, but they're absolutely brilliant.
Batman Metal.
Batman Metal.
No, not Batman Metal, because you Google that, it'll take you to like the comic series. Batman. One word.
All right, let's roll through these answers here. Quote number 1, isn't this fun? It's just like a sleepover. We should order pizza. Make Cosmos. Harley Quinn from Birds of Prey. The number of people that got that wrong is really fascinating to me. And the number of people that put Batman, the original Batman, is also fascinating. Question number 2, now I know that only love can truly save the world, so I stay, I fight, and I give for the world I know can be. That's Diana Prince from Wonder Woman. No matter how bad things get, something good is out there just over the horizon. That's Hal Jordan from Green Lantern. There's another quote that I was going to put in there earlier where he's talking to his buddy in the movie, who is played by Taika Waititi. And Taika Waititi says, what's that ring about? And he says, it means responsibility in their culture. And he goes, it must also mean asshole in their culture. And I thought that was hilarious. Question number 4, I'm like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught one. I just do things. That's the Joker from The Dark Knight. Number 5, this city is afraid of me, for I have seen its true face. That's Rorschach. Rorschach. That one. From Watchmen. I haven't seen Watchmen. Number 6, you will make my strength your own and see my life through your eyes as your life will be seen through mine. The son becomes the father and the father the son. That is Jor-El from the original Superman with Christopher Reeves. Some men aren't looking for something logical. Some men just want to watch the world burn. One of my favorite quotes from DC movies, that was Alfred from The Dark Knight. Number 8, the world changed when Superman flew across the sky, and then it changed again when he didn't. And that is why I'm here. That's Amanda Waller from Suicide Squad. Reprising her role. Kind of happy she's coming back for it and given a second chance at a good movie. Number 9, if you become more than a man, devote yourself to an ideal, then you become something else entirely. In the chat, please tell me, do you pronounce this Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins or Raz al Ghul? Because my Google search told me both. Question number 10. What?
It's Ra's al Ghul.
Stupid. Question number 10. She begged me with her last breath that when I killed you, and make no mistake, I will fucking kill you, I do it slow, and I'm going to honor that promise. My favorite quote from this last movie, Batman in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Smithers does not like that quote.
It doesn't kill. It's not worth it.
I loved it. All right. So in 4th place, we have Ocean Master P with 11 points. Oh, sorry, 7 points. Sorry, Ocean Master P. In 3rd place, we have Bradtastic with 10 points. In 2nd place, Dogs Chasing Cars with 11 points. And in 1st place, with another perfect round, Raz al Ghul with 20 points.
It's Rash. It's like an Irish guy saying rash.
It's not.
Oh, you got the rash. It's Rash.
All right. We are moving into the picture round here. Please make sure that you have the 3rd form up and ready to go.
Who is Rash?
What we are going to be looking for here is we are going to show you an actor that played a role in a Marvel movie. What we want to know is what DC movie were they in? We're going to show you the Marvel movie. Tell us what DC movie they were in.
It's wild that there are enough of these.
I know.
You know what's crazy? At this point, like, especially with Marvel, because they're dipping into every type of actor, like there's no one that is not going to touch a Marvel or DC movie at this point. Case in point, Helen Mirren joining Shazam too.
That's so wild.
It's an incredible casting, but so weird.
I mean, if you think about it, though, she was excellent in Fast and Furious.
Never saw it.
Shame.
Anyway, all right, let's go. Round 3, picture round. Again, we're going to show you the Marvel picture of a character. We want to know what movie that actor was in the DC universe. Does not have to be DC Extended Universe, may just be a regular DC movie. Round 3, picture round, question 1.
Oh, God.
Boy, that suit is tight. How did they get that on his face? Is that like wax?
Like just cutting off the circulation with a brain.
Hell.
It's like one of those travel sucking things where you like suck the bag.
Like they held him up by his legs and dipped him in wax.
Picture 2.
Who's this?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah. Not Lex Luthor.
Question 3. She looks so regal in this picture.
I forgot about this one.
These were kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I wish she had been in Black Panther more.
And I guess also to let everyone know that's answering these questions, some of them may be in multiple DC movies. Just give us one of them. I don't like him, by the way.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me for a litany of reasons.
I like him in picture number 5. I like him in the Star Trek movies. I do not like him as Steve Trevor in the Wonder Woman movies.
That's fine. But to say that you just don't like Chris Pine, like, did you see Hell or High Water?
I changed it. Yes, I did. I changed it. I qualified my comment.
Okay. But you've been saying I don't like Chris Pine, and that's just an insane thing to say.
Well, you and I obviously do have the same taste and shit.
Is he the worst Chris, though?
I don't know. There's some good pictures of Chris Evans that came out recently, so I don't know. Different crowd. Picture 7.
Oh, shit.
Oh, is this?
He actually is one of those actors that's been in so much shit that you don't. I guess I didn't realize how much he's been in. Picture number 8.
I just finished The Wire, and I'm like, this is my favorite Idris Elba role that he's ever played. He's great in that movie. In that series.
The Wire was the one down in Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna miss it.
Picture 9. It's a hard one. Well, yeah. Last one for this round, round 3, picture round. God, this is a terrible picture.
That's an amazing jacket, though. I want to see the rest of that.
God, I was really hoping we'd have Nick Cage, but I forgot he wasn't in a DC movie. Not yet.
Technically, he was Superman. We have the pictures to prove it.
That is true. We should have just thrown that
It
out.
never made it to theaters or an actual film.
A boy can dream.
That was Tim Burton, right?
Yes.
You wanted to cast him?
I do have I said this a long time ago. I do have an episode of a new podcast I was going to launch and then never did, about like Never Coming Soon. And I did all this research on that goddamn film and never did anything with it. So life finds a way, you know? All right. Get those answers in.
Mark, I know how you feel about this.
Absolutely not. He had his chance.
Please. I'm out on it.
I would like to see him do one more movie where he's given all the liberties he wants and can do whatever he wants, with us saying there is no way you can make an extra cut a year later or an ultimate amazing cut. Like, this is it. This is your chance.
2 things to jump in with. Number 1, totally agree with that. I love, like, just fucking do it. But when you're talking about you're not going to get another chance, there's a reason why he stepped away before. Right?
No, I understand. I understand that.
But I'm with you. I think if they give him a budget and they're like, finish your story, shut these fuckers on Twitter up.
Yeah, and don't be like, I was more talking about Batman versus Superman. Don't say like, well, I guess that was, what was that, Warner Brothers that said cut it down, and he's like, okay, well, I have more stuff. But allow him to make his 5-hour movie if he wants it, if he thinks that's what people want, and put it out there. With
is not shoot it in slow-mo, and it won't be 4 hours long.
Yeah. Was it IGN or Screen Rant actually like went in and looked at all the slow-mo shots and said it was like 10% of the whole movie, which is kind of ridiculous.
I mean, how long would it have been without all the slow-mo then? Like 3.5 hours? Because that
3 hours and in 20 minutes.
Once you cross the 4-hour mark, like when I heard that Endgame was going to be like 3.5 hours, I was like, shit. Like I'm already planning out how I'm not going to drink anything for 4 hours ahead of time. Once you cross that 4-hour mark, man, you lost me.
Yeah, but we were in theaters too. I was nervous about that because I have to take a piss like every 45 minutes. I was like, how am I going to do this? But being at home and being able to watch it, I split it up into 2 parts. It really didn't seem that long to me. I could tell it was over the 3-hour mark, but I was at the end, I wasn't like, oh my God, that was 4 friggin' hours. I think it's because of the way the movie went. At the beginning, Joe's not going to want to hear this, but I thought it was just super slow. I was like, if this is how it is throughout the whole movie, I'm out. I can't do this. Towards the end, I would say at the end of the second act and the whole third act was when things really picked up. And I was like, okay, that's probably why it's fast.
A lot of the beginning was very slow. It also was a rehash of a lot of the stuff that was in 2017. So when you're watching it, you're like, oh, okay, we're going to get Aquaman. We're going to do this shit again. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with.
Yeah. But I don't know. Let Zack Snyder do another movie if people want it.
I'm going to tell him he can't do it. It'll all just depend on what the reaction, I guess, is overall and how much money he makes him.
So I'm jumping in again as I'm halfway through this. My whole thing is like DC, the Warner Media Studios CEO said, we want diverse filmmakers to come into the DC universe and do whatever they're going to do. Okay, that makes sense, right? You have another avenue outside of movies. You have the HBO Max platform. And you see that this was actually a really well-received film from critics, from fans, also by the numbers it did on HBO Max. Granted, it did less than Wonder Woman 1984, which is a piss-poor movie, but in my opinion. But I don't know why you wouldn't throw some money that way to wrap that up and then fold it into the multiverse that you're going to really explore when you get to the Flash movie. It just kind of seems dumb to me from a business perspective. If you have people that are pining for something and you can draw people to that new platform that just launched a year ago, why wouldn't you do that?
I don't know, but something you said just triggered me into remembering how much I hated Ezra Miller, and I don't ever want to see him as the Flash again. He's the worst.
Yeah, he's not good. I don't know. Joe's with the Snyder stuff. I've kind of the Snyder
stuff is correct. Yeah,
the Snyder stuff. I've kind of moved on. I'm looking forward to more of the James Gunn's Suicide Squad, all that. Which I think he's gonna kill, and then just start giving James Gunn everything. Just give it to him. We'll see.
I know that we're talking about DC, but this just came across to me. Bo Burnham is going to play Larry Bird. What? Dude, Hollywood.
What kind of, like a serious movie?
I don't. It's an HBO series.
How tall is he?
Not as tall as Larry Bird.
I don't even know who I would cast though otherwise.
Larry Bird.
Maybe like the guy that plays Thad Castle in Blue Mountain State. The guy that was in
Titans.
Titans, yeah. Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who I'd have cast.
Who played that weirdo prince in Aladdin? The guy that you love, Billy Magnuson.
Yes, I love
Billy Magnuson on stilts.
Yeah,
I'd watch that.
Or Val Kilmer, just throw him in there.
He does kind of look like Larry Bird right about now.
Just de-age him a little bit.
Nobody looks like Larry Bird though. Like Larry Bird is just Larry Bird. Like I don't know.
I guess.
Anyway, which superhero would Larry Bird play?
It's
Hawkman, obviously.
Hawkman wouldn't be bad. Let him play. I don't know. It's a good question. Let him play James Gordon.
Larry Bird.
Gordon.
Larry Bird is Commissioner Gordon. Okay.
Or Aquaman.
Old school comic book Aquaman, maybe.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the direction they took Aquaman? Like as Jason Momoa. Obviously, Jason Momoa is, he's good as Arthur Curry, but like his aesthetic, basically changing it so much. How do you feel about that, Mark?
The Aquaman writing and the story, I didn't really care for, but it's James Wan. Wasn't it James Wan who did that one? Yeah, visually it was freaking awesome, I thought. I'm like, this is how it should look. However, it didn't hit on the story front.
All right, let's get to the answers for this round. I'm going to go back to the pictures. First one here, we have Ben Affleck, who was in Daredevil. He also was Batman in Batman vs. Superman and Zack Snyder's Justice League, as well as 2017 Justice League.
They literally took a red balloon, just cut it in half, and just pulled it right over his head.
Picture number 2, Tilda Swinton. She was the Ancient One in Doctor Strange and all the other Avengers movies. I think just Avengers Endgame maybe. But she was also Gabriel in Constantine. Picture 3, sorry. Angela Bassett, Ramonda in Black Panther, as well as Avengers Endgame. She was Amanda Waller in Green Lantern. So she was the first Amanda Waller we saw in the DC universe or the DC movies. Number 4, Chris Pine was the voice of Peter Parker in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He also was Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984. Ben Mendelsohn was Talos in Captain Marvel and all the other iterations, as well as Daggett in The Dark Knight Rises. This is a deep cut in that movie. Number 6, Halle Berry, of course, Storm in the X-Men movies. She was Catwoman in Catwoman. Number 7, Idris Elba was Heimdall in Thor and the other movies he appeared in. He was, oh God, I'm going to mispronounce this. He was Roke in The Losers, or Moreau in Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, or Bloodsport in The Suicide Squad. Or I guess the first one was Suicide Squad or The Suicide Squad?
Drop the.
Drop the low, right? Number 8. I'm going to mispronounce this. Adewale Akinoye Abaje was Dark Elf in Thor the Dark World, the best MCU movie that came out.
Get out of here.
I'm kidding. And he was also Killer Croc in Suicide Squad. There we go. Chris Evans was Jensen in The Losers. He also obviously was Captain America in the MCU, or Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four movies. And finally, Brett Cullen was Barton Blaze in Ghost Rider. He was the father of Ghost Rider. He was a congressman in The Dark Knight Rises, or Thomas Wayne in Joker. So after this round, we have the following. In 4th place, Ocean Master P with 11 points. In 3rd place, Brad Tasik with 13 points. In 2nd place, Dogs Chasing Cars with 16 points. And in 1st place, Raish Al Ghul's with 29 points. Missed out on that perfect score with 1 point.
All right, last round here. Round 4. Let's do it, guys.
Make sure you have that form up and you're ready to go. Ready, Mark?
I'm ready. In Superman 1978, that is, where does Lex Luthor set up his lair?
I think this round is hard.
I've never seen this movie. Is that
What?
bad?
Yes.
Including the upcoming The Batman. How many actresses have portrayed Catwoman in film? It's a good question.
Very excited for the upcoming portrayal.
I love her.
She's very good looking. Which master of horror wrote and directed 1982's Swamp Thing? Is that hair on Swamp Thing, or is that just how the vines are covering his head?
That's just like tree roots and stuff.
And mud and shit.
In Batman Returns, what was the name of Penguin's gang? I was just thinking of like Cesar Romero. Just the actor is like, no, if I'm Swamp Thing, I'm not shaving my head for this. And he just leaves his like curly hair on. I still can't get over that. Whenever someone's like, Cesar Romero was a top Joker, I'm like, the dude wouldn't shave his mustache. Ridiculous. Who is murdered in the opening scene of Watchmen?
Smithers.
You wish.
I would.
Well, which comes out tomorrow, by the way. First 2 episodes. Very excited.
Invincible?
Yep.
3 episodes.
I heard it's amazing. What is Steppenwolf's relationship to Darkseid in Zack Snyder's Justice League? He's his little bitch.
Who was saying they didn't like his like living armor or whatever?
Brick.
Oh, I loved it.
I didn't care.
I feel like they're trying to just differentiate it, you know? But
Just looks like a burnt croissant. What DC superhero, not yet seen in the DCEU in any way, is slated to make their first DCEU appearance in the upcoming The Flash movie? What is the name of Wonder Woman's sword? Joe, how did you feel about Steppenwolf now having 7 fingers compared to the first cut where he had just a normal hand?
Let that go.
I was fine with it. I like here's the
Even
problem.
though they were wrist fingers, like he had 5 fingers, and then Snyder's like, no, stop it. Add 2 fingers on his wrist.
I'll tell you in a second.
What Oscar-nominated filmmaker was recently announced as the writer of the upcoming Zatanna movie?
You know, everything that Zack Snyder put in this movie was his original vision, and it's just a fuck you to all the changes that were made by Joss Whedon, right? So even if he was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, he's like, I'm fucking doing it.
Yeah. 7 fingers. What is too many fingers? I don't know. Name the 3 main villains in Batman and Robin. I'm trying to think of the right. Is this the right one I'm thinking about?
Mark, Smithers, and Brick.
You wish.
Villainous.
You wish.
You wish.
All right, guys. Here we go. If you missed one, now is your chance. I feel like this round was easier than the first round. First round was pretty tough.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. There were some tough ones in the first round. Was there somebody got a perfect score in the first round?
Mhm.
You say Ra's al Ghul's team?
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty good.
It's my favorite question for the debatable questions in between rounds that's coming up next.
All right.
I think Smithers will have a lot to offer here.
I almost never have anything to offer, so
I promise you, Smithers, you will hear. Get those answers in.
No, I'll be honest. I don't know a lot about Marvel Comics. There you go.
he knows as much as he says he does about Batman comics. Everything else, probably not.
I'm getting pretty good with indie comics.
I still
And-
feel like Indy is putting up the best stuff right now.
Yeah,
Marvel and DC aren't touching the stuff that Image is doing.
Marvel, I can never tell you anything about what happened in the comics in like the 90s. You can do that, Smithers. If we're talking about like some of the recent Spider-Man stuff and Absolute Carnage and all the big hits comic-wise for Marvel, I could tell you about it for the most part. But yeah,
I can
Marvel,
do everything from late 80s X-Men to about 2015, 2016 in Marvel.
I was too young for the whole 90s craze in comic books, especially with like when Image started with those characters, Young Bloods, and everything that was happening with X-Men. That wasn't my time, and I didn't get into comics then.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it is weird to go back and look at some of that stuff now, especially like the Claremont X-Men. It was so verbose, like the exposition. They wrote out everything, and now we've transitioned so much to a world that obviously is trying to stretch stories into as many individual books as they can, but also is more dependent upon the art.
Mm-hmm.
So it's much more of a visual medium than it used to be, where it was much more written. I mean, think about, like, I don't know if you've ever read Sandman, but that's essentially a novel. Like that's full exposition. So,
yeah, and I'm curious. I don't think either one of us knows this because we don't work in the comic book industry, but I wonder if that was due to I wonder if the communication between the illustrator and the colorist and the writer right now was a lot different than what it was in the 90s and 80s and even back to like the 70s, like how they work together. Because now it just, they can do all these huge runs of comic books, and it, for the most part, I mean, the great writers, the art that comes with it flows, perfectly usually. So I bet they work together in a different fashion than what used to happen in like the 90s and things like that. I don't know.
I think maybe when it comes to the actual art side of things, I think maybe like the fandom changed a little bit. Maybe people didn't used to care as much about the actual art.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about it, a lot of it was cookie cutter. A lot of it was pretty much exactly the same. And now, I mean, you have a litany of different styles. And I think maybe it was just kind of like catering to what was in demand.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's not odd to even have like a regular single issue having two different artists doing it. A lot of the times they'll split up the art. Well, now it's a lot of the comics are literally one issue is actually like 3 issues, what 3 issues used to be. They're just getting bigger and bigger, and that comes with a bigger price tag as well. Now it's hard to find a comic that's under $5.
So like, I'm wondering, is the art just cheaper for them than it is to actually have it written? Like you can have a splash page, a full, fold out splash page, without actually advancing the story at all. So they stretch it out into more issues.
Mm-hmm.
Pay a writer as much.
Yeah.
Isn't there the challenge, though, that a lot of the lower level, maybe that's not the right way to put it, the indie comics or whatever, are being bought up by DC in particular, bought Vertigo, and did they buy Icon, or they didn't buy Icon? Of course.
So Marvel has Dark Horse.
Dark Horse, yeah.
Right now.
That's right.
Due to the Fox merger, but also if we're talking one of the biggest indie publishers, which is Image Comics, I mean, you have Robert Kirkman, and there's rumors about like Robert Kirkman buying certain parts of like DC Comics and things like that. Like they have so much power over there at Image.
It's not even really fair to call them an indie publisher anymore.
Yeah, they're a major publisher.
Image Comics was not bought by DC?
No.
Who am I thinking of there?
I'm just saying Robert Kirkman has a lot of power and leverage over there.
Probably.
Yeah.
Image is Saga and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's get to the final answers for this round of trivia. General knowledge, round 4, question 1 in Superman, the 1978 edition. Where does Lex Luthor set up his lair? In an old Metropolis train station. Question number 2, including the upcoming Batman, how many actresses have portrayed Catwoman in film? That's 5. Lee Merriweather is probably the one that a lot of people are not thinking of. We had a lot of 3 and 4 answers. Lee Merriweather back in the 60s, Michelle Pfeiffer, Halle Berry, Anne Hathaway, and Zoe Kravitz. What did you think of Anne Hathaway as Catwoman?
I don't understand why people don't like her. Like, I know that not everybody dislikes her, but the people that do are so vehement about it.
I like her as an actress, but in terms of as Catwoman,
I liked her. I liked her a lot. And
okay,
it might just be because I enjoy those movies so much, but
yeah, makes sense. All right, which master of horror wrote and directed 1982's Swamp Thing that was Wes Craven? In Batman Returns, what was the name of Penguin's gang, the Red Triangle Gang? Question number 5, who was murdered in the opening scene of Watchmen, the comedian? And question number 6, what is Steppenwolf's relationship to Darkseid in Zack Snyder's Justice League? We were looking for, he is the uncle of Darkseid.
He is Darkseid's turd come to life with armor.
Okay, here we are. Living armor.
Out.
What is question number 7? What DC superhero not yet seen in the DCEU in any way is slated to make their first DCEU appearance in the upcoming The Flash movie? That's Supergirl. Fun story, when Cyborg, played by Ray Fisher, accused them of racism and all this shit, they booted him from the movie, replaced the character with Supergirl, and here we are. Question number 8. What is the name of Wonder Woman's sword? That's Godkiller. Question number 9, which Oscar-nominated filmmaker was recently announced as the writer of the upcoming Zatanna movie? We mentioned her earlier. That's Emerald Fennell, who was just the writer and director of Promising Young Woman. Question number 10, name the 3 main villains in Batman and Robin: Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, Bane. Comics Explained, I'm going to address that question. The specific comment in that question was, what DC superhero not yet seen in the DCEU, the DC Extended Universe, which started with Man of Steel. So that's a little bit of a specific ask there. So yes, there was a Supergirl movie back in the day, but that is not what we were looking for here. Anyway, let's talk about who won this game. In 4th place, Ocean Master P with 14 points. In 3rd place, Brad Tasek with 15 points. In 2nd place, Dogs Chasing Cars with 20 points. And in 1st place, 3 points shy of a perfect game.
Wow.
Raish Raz Al Ghul's 37 points. So congratulations to you. Thank you all for playing.
That's a great score. Congrats. And thank you guys for all playing. Hope you had fun.
So we got to figure out what we're going to do in 2 weeks, right?
I think we know.
We do know. Mark, you want to announce that?
Yeah, we're going to, I know we're not getting into fall yet, but I think we're going to kick off some horror.
By popular
You're going to do my idea of horror below 4 feet tall?
God, yeah, so last trivia we did, we were running the idea of maybe we should, because it was around St. Patty's Day, we're like, maybe we should do horror movies with all these horror scary guys that are under 3 feet, like the Leprechaun. What else? You got the Jigsaw guy from Saw.
Gremlins. You got
Gremlins.
The little doll from Gremlins. You got Chucky.
This is exactly why we're not doing that. Under 4 feet tall.
We just have to think about it. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna go broad. We're gonna do horror. It should be a good time. Come back in 2 weeks.
We are going to do Marvel in the future. We just want to put some time in between the DC superhero, obviously, movies, and then Marvel. I do see a request for Fast and Furious in there.
We'll wait till Joe's off that week. Seriously.
I'll watch them. God damn it. I do own all of them.
There's what, 9 of them right now?
There's 8 of them plus Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh yeah,
right?
9 is the one that's coming out.
Plus, you got to watch the animated show on Netflix.
I did watch that.
That too.
You watched that, but not the movies? I hate you so much.
Shocker. It was available. I think I saw Fast and... What was the first one? Was it The Fast and Furious or Fast and Furious?
Fast and Furious is the first one.
I think I watched that in theaters. I just don't remember it because that was so long ago.
R.I.P. Paul Walker.
Oh, he was in those? I'm kidding.
Get out of here. I can't. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Anyway, thank you all for playing. We very much enjoy having you here each week. Please, if you can, share that you had a good time with this. Comment on the YouTube and Twitch videos, and let us know if you will be back next time. We want to make sure that this keeps expanding and blowing up. We have a lot of fun with whoever shows up each and every time. So 2 weeks from now, we will be back with horror, and that specific date, if I can get it real quick, I'm actually in July on my calendar here, which is kind of weird, will be Thursday, April 8th. So we will see you Thursday, April 8th for horror. Make sure you watch all those horror movies and get ready for it, and we will see you then.
All the Conjurings, 1 through 12. Make sure you see them all.
All the Saw movies.
Yes.
Spiral won't be up by then.
Tell your friends, tell your family. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks, guys. Peace. I should probably end this broadcast, right? Yep, that's my job.